It depends on the stage of the career, right?
Yeah.
You're really, there's a cycle, there's a start, then there's, a maturity where you're at your best, and then it kind of, then you hopefully can keep that level for quite some time, and then it goes down, right? So up until you reach your best performance level, whenever it is, you try to make, the key thing for negotiations is actually to make sure that you're flexible, and you can get actually the best deal possible when you reach your peak. Up until then, you need to make sure you are in best position possible to showcase yourself, to develop, to get better. And then potentially, when you're actually there, your agent has a chance to, make sure he can get the best deal possible on the market. So that means you have an option there, or you're a free agent there, and stuff like that. So I think that's what's key. And then from that point, obviously maximizing, or, you know, keeping the legacy, or meaning, like whatever your preference is it, make most money possible, win as much as possible, or whatever that is, based on the client and what he wants to do.
Okay. So I like how you said that, like, make as much as possible or win as much as possible. Without like naming any names or anything, do you feel like the spectrum is more on the make as much as possible or win as much as possible with the clients that you've worked with?
I would say majority still make as much as possible,
Yeah,
because bottom line, not everybody has that thing
exactly.
in themselves, right? To be leaders throughout the whole life, and or whatever. And when you think about it, like, how many people will actually remember, I don't even know, Chris Paul, or I don't know, some of these guys that are great, amazing players, right?
Yeah,
But in 20, 30 years from now, I don't know how many of those will be remembered, apart from LeBron James and, I don't know, Kevin
the Kobe
Durant, even Kevin
Bryants and
Durant, like,
yeah,
or yeah, like, okay, cool, yeah, exactly. Like, we can name, I don't know, five players
yeah,
that will just be there forever, but other than that, they will be forgotten. But their wealth, can help the families, and can, have a legacy on their own, let's say.
yeah. So you're working with these players, and like I've done a bit of research. I see you start working with players pretty young. Um, you start looking at players pretty young, and that's kind of more of a common thing, I guess, in Euro than here, just because you guys have a totally different structure. Like Simon broke down the structure of like how European basketball is with the regional teams and stuff like that.